So this is my own personal review of my Epson LS 300. We've owned it over a month now, bought it back before Christmas. I gotta say I had a little bit of a headache trying to get it set up. It is my first ultra short throw projector, but I also have to blame Epson for poor documentation. I mean, really no videos on how to adjust the screen. I had to figure it out on my own. Also, I had to move my screen several times in order to get everything straightened out and figured out. But that could be on me since I am a new first-time owner of an ultra short throw. The projector itself is about 10 inches from the wall, maybe a little bit more. Could be up to 12 or 13 when I finally got everything figured out. And it's about 9 inches from the back up, which would be consistent with their 100-inch recommendation. It does say it can go up to 120. Obviously, it'd be pulled back further from the wall, so note that when you're buying it. As you can see, there's a little distance between it and the wall, but it works pretty good with my setup. I would recommend a lower table to hold it on it, or a center, entertainment center if you will. I have an Onkyo system with Clish speakers. It's a 5.1.2, and the 0.2 is my back speakers for Dolby Atmos that point up, and it works really well. And it works well with this system. Although it has a built-in Yamaha system, you could use that by itself. It sounds pretty good. I don't use it, have no need. I actually have optical out, and I also use the HDMI out. And in order to get everything straightened out, that's what I mainly use now is the HDMI. It sounds fine. Now, it's a 1080p native, but I honestly can't tell the difference between that and my 4K Samsung TV that I had. It was a curved 60-inch that sat in the same spot and basically was bigger than that whole cabinet, sat right up on top. And I honestly can't tell the difference when it's running the 4K input. And I can show you that right now. And as you can see, the screen's actually pretty good. It may look a little blurry in this video, but I can assure you the colors are pretty vibrant at 1.5 million contrast ratio, hard to find in a 1080p. I got the window opened here to allow light in just to show you. Now I'm going to go ahead and close it because that's the way I usually run it in this room. The room's generally dark, and I'll turn on a backlight. As you can see now, the room's slightly lit. And we'll start the video, and then I'll just turn off that backlight so you can see it. I'm going to go to YouTube within the app, which is within the device, comes with Android, bunch of channels, and I'll go into YouTube. And I already selected a video. I'll go ahead and skip some ads here. Now, this video shows it's an 8K, but as you can see, in other words, 8K capable. But on YouTube, it's bringing it in at 4K. But I believe it's only throwing it at the screen at 1080p, but it's amazing. Once you get all this worked out, this projector works really well. We're pretty happy with it. But again, I went through a lot of headaches trying to get everything aligned. And the first thing I would recommend to everybody is make sure you square everything off with the wall. Before you put the screen up, run the projector. I used a pencil to kind of highlight the outside after I stretched the screen. And then do your alignment, because you may find one side warped. I don't know if it was a lens issue, and that's why they just give you the software to make the adjustments, but it works. Again, it's just a tip. Make sure you carefully align it, and you may have to fuss with your screen a little bit in the adjustment. The screen came from Amazon. I went with the lower end one because of the contrast ratio. And as you can see, it's really good. 1.5 million to 1. When you turn that on, you can see the difference. And it looks really good. Now remember, I have a light on behind me. I'll go ahead and turn that off. And right away it pops. I also have the projector internal light turned down, which you can do with everything turned off. And there is a fan in it because it's running 3 DLP lasers. So with the fan in it, it can get loud. If you have it turned up, there's no reason to. I've never found a reason to have it high. I run it almost all the way down, makes no noise at all. It runs really good. The picture is really crisp. Now I want to make a note. Again, I'm running this YouTube video at 4K. When I run it through my Xbox, it comes in showing the 4K. And again, when I go to YouTube or Disney Plus, I'm able to run my Dolby Atmos through my Xbox. I cannot get it to work through here. But I'm not blaming Epson for that. It has nothing to do with that. It's whether or not, I guess, the device itself would need to support Dolby Atmos, and it's just not there. But it does do 5.1 perfectly fine if you want to just run it quickly through here. And when it comes to my cable TV, I only got 1080p coming in anyways. And with it upscaling, it works beautifully. It works perfectly. And again, I'm going to show you something. Hopefully this will save some folks some aggravation. When you get into the adjustment screens, if you find on that first screen when you first start the projector that it's showing it warped, if there's any warping at all, use these middle ones, which I didn't do, and I wish I had at first. It saved me a lot of headache. When you hit the button on them, you can go up or down, in and out, and fix the warping. The whole goal is to get this center circle perfectly round. If it looks like an egg, you got a problem. Another thing I found later that helped me fix some of my blurriness in the corners was to make sure your screen on the bottom, sometimes when you mount them, people don't make sure they're flush against the wall. They may actually be sticking out slightly. And that had been that way for several weeks. And I had a little blurriness down on one of the corners. And as soon as I flatten the screen out, everything looks a lot better now. I wouldn't say it's 100%, and I guess a lot of ultra short throw people will tell you that sometimes the corners do that. They may be slightly blurry, but I'm not noticing it anymore. I believe I got my problem fixed and I'm pretty happy with it overall. I'd say for $1,900 at Best Buy, I'd take this over a 4K right now. I mean, I literally saved a couple $1,000. You could put it toward a really nice system to attach to it, a nice theater system for sound if you want, if you don't have it. Otherwise, the Yamaha speakers, they're pretty good. I'm not really used to that. We didn't play it at all. I have no desire to, since I have a nice Onkyo system that runs my sound. So, and that's about it. Again, it's all about lighting. And one more thing on the screen, I don't know if I mentioned, I may have. It's a Cine B, which isn't the highest end type of screen. That does help with the ambient light coming in. It definitely helps the image. You don't want to put this on a regular wall unless you have the right paint. They do sell paint that does that, but I wouldn't even go that far. I would definitely get a screen. You can pick one up for under $200. I did. And it works beautiful with it. Because of that high contrast ratio, you don't have to go real high on the high end. But I bet it might look a little better on them if you got the money to spend. Otherwise, I am not unhappy with my decision to purchase this. And I hope that helps you folks. If you have any questions, just put it down below, and when I get to it, I will. Again, I'm just a regular guy, regular user, and I hope I can help a few people, because this is the way YouTube was supposed to work. I'm really tired of some of the new stuff. All right, guys. Hope it helps. Take care.